All right.
You know.
Now some questions about the guitars. How do you practice your playing to stay in shape? Do you practice a lot?
I don't. So I'm not in shape. The problem with this band is that we never practice, we never rehearse, we never do, like, of course we practice every once in a while, but, you know, some bands, they practice a couple of times every week, and or maybe, like, you know, before a tour they'll practice for, 6 weeks intensely or something like that. Mm-hmm. We kind of tend to rehearse as much as we have to before recording an album, and going out on the road, mostly it's like we rehearse for a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks, and that's it. And when I'm at home, but there's a reason for it though. I mean, we should rehearse more, we should practice more, but on the other hand, it still feels fresh then, you know, like it still feels like you're not like grinding it and doing it just because you've got to do it, you know, you're actually doing it when you feel like it or have to. But as far as guitar-wise, like, you know, I've never been a guy that sat down with exercises or stuff. We're all self-taught, and that's the same for me. I picked up a guitar when I was a kid, and I heard music, like, you know, bands that I liked, and I just thought, hey, I want to be able to write that shit too. So starting up playing the guitar was always about how do I learn to play well enough to be able to play the ideas that I want. Mm-hmm. And of course, like, you know, when you were 15, it was like, yeah, I want to play these songs, or Metallica or whatever. But it's all, the focus has been more on the structure of music and writing it than on actually just playing the guitar. You know what I'm saying? So the practice I get is when I write, the few times we rehearse, and the most practice I get definitely on live you practice, but I would say that writing music is because you record your stuff and then you re-record it and you do overdubs and you go through the riff and it's like, I've got to change that, scrap it, play it again, but change that little thing. So you play a lot, like massive amounts of hours to get it just right before you're like presenting it to the band. So that's like, you know, some practice, and then it's when you mess around. You know, like I'm lying at home on the couch watching TV or whatever, and I'm bored, and I grab the guitar and I'm just fiddling around for half an hour. That's the practice I get.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you know any Polish bands?
I know. I actually, you know, we played with a bunch of Polish bands like Vader back in the day, and Behemoth are around playing a lot. So we see Polish bands every once in a while on festivals and stuff. And I remember a Polish band giving us a CD in Vienna a couple of years ago, actually. I think they were from Warsaw. I think so. They were called Moja Adrenalina. Yeah. They gave us a CD. They had at least I remember listening to it, and I remember one song I really liked. So that band I know of too. I've listened to that album a couple of times. Mm-hmm.
All right, and finally, I wanted to ask you for a few words for the readers of the Guitarist magazine. Maybe you have some advices to them. How should they practice, or where should they find their inspirations?
Do what you feel like. Practice more than me, and more than anything, it's awesome to have an inspiration where you go to like the tone or the sound or whatever of a guitar player. But the reason you're liking that guitar player is because he's got a sound of his own most of the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's something unique about it. And that's something people need to realize. It's not about how many scales you can play and how fast you can play them. It's how you make people know that it's you that's playing.
Exactly. Great. Thank you very much.
No problem, man.
Thanks.